Morning. Okay, so quick story for you about today. It's only 9:30. Yeah, I woke up this morning full of the joys of spring because it feels like spring at the minute. The daffodils are up and everything. It's only middle of February, but anyway, did a load of programs for Plan Strong programs for some guys doing the TSC, some guys doing the SFL and all that. If you don't know what that is, it's a strong first. A couple of events, you know, that you need to be really strong for. Hello, Ashley. How are you doing? Anyway, yeah. So I bounced out of bed after that, and it's the end of my 4-week cycle on my Plan Strong program. And I was like, right, I'm gonna go for double bodyweight deadlift today. So I weighed myself this morning at home on my scales, and I was like, right, I'm gonna go for this, but I have to weigh myself after the deadlift to prove that it's double bodyweight. So I took my scales down to the gym with us because there aren't any in the gym, and I weighed more. So already I weighed more on the same scales in the gym than I did at home. So already I was like, right, this isn't going to happen. So in there it wasn't going to happen, right? Straight off. Now, the other thing is, I had a go at this. There was a guy doing some stuff. Hello, Nick. How's it going? There was a guy doing some stuff in the squat rack directly in front of me as well, which was putting me off. So I had to turn myself around and face away. And he kept stepping across me bar and all that, and it was like, right, so basically my head was just out of the game straight away. So it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen. Okay, so I had to go anyway, and it just didn't happen. Okay. Now I've been reading this book called Bounce by Matthew Syed, and there was a bit in it about choking, because he choked in the Sydney Olympics in table tennis, and he was talking about sort of various sports people who've choked in various events. And it's basically because once you've patterned something, once you've learned something, and it goes from one part of your brain to another, it was intrinsic and extrinsic memory or something like that. I can't remember the details about it, but basically once you've patterned it and you know it and you can do it, Nick, you'll get this, and Ashley, you'll get this as well. But Nick, like especially with the kettlebell sports stuff, you just turn up and do it, right? But when you start to think about it, you become a beginner again. And then you've got the beginner's mindset, and then instead of having a groove that is patterned, it changes. Now, when I was on the SFL, Fabio was telling me about some research they'd been doing about people approaching the bar from the same side, and you know, having like rituals before they lifted it up. Okay, all that changed for me today because I had to face a different way. There was a guy in front. Everything was different. Everything was different. So my head was just out of the game. Right now. Why have I said it's a shit day? It's not really. However, most people will post the highlight reels, right? So they'll post themselves lifting big weights and all of that sort of stuff and be like, look at me, aren't I great? And it's like, well, you know, failures happen as well. Failures happen as well. And if we don't share those, everyone kind of thinks everyone else is doing better than them, don't they? And then start comparing themselves to each other and all that. So, I failed today. And it's a bit demoralising, to be honest, but I'm on a programme and I know it's working. The thing is, I finished off my session as I usually would. I just tried that one lift, it didn't work. Finished off my session as I usually would, and it all felt a lot harder as well because of where my mind was, but I got it done. But it just felt horrible. I didn't speak. Usually I'm speaking to people at the gym and all that, having a good chat, being a bit jovial. I didn't look at anyone, I just looked at the floor, did a bit of mobility, got on my stuff and left. Didn't speak to anybody. So yeah, these things happen. These things happen. So the thing is, apparently the way to do this, and this is what I'm going to struggle with, I think, and the struggle is that it's very important to me that I get this because I want to pass the SFL. It's very important to me that I get this, and the fact that it's so important. This is what this guy was going on about Olympic athletes and all that sort of stuff. Not that I'm an Olympic athlete, you know, but it's important to me, right? And when they get to the final of whatever, if they think of it as the final, there's more chance of choking. If they think of it, it's just another race, it's just another, you know, I've just got to chuck a javelin up a field a bit more, I've just got to hoy this discus that far, I've just got to like swing this hammer around, you know, all that sort of stuff. It's just another lift. And if I can get into that mindset, I'm not a beginner anymore. It's just another lift. I do this every day. So it's getting out of the beginner's mindset and into the just this is what I do mindset. I've got this, I do it all the time. So that you can apply that to absolutely anything. I mean, I don't know who'll watch this, if anybody. I know you guys are, but you guys like lift stuff, so you'll know what I'm talking about. But you can apply it to anything, like job interviews, or, you know, going up to talk to somebody in a bar or whatever. You just do it. It's just a thing you do, right? It's not like, oh, this is the big thing. It's like, no, this is just something I do. And the more you do that, the more you get used to it, and the more you pattern it, and the more it becomes just something you do. Speaking of which, I eat breakfast most days, and that's something I do, and I'm going to go and do that now. So, anyway, I just wanted to share in some failure. Exactly, Nick. You'll know that. I've never I don't really do kettlebell sport. But yeah, 10 minutes seems like a long time to me. Anyway, talk soon.